Hey, this is not the tournament. No, sorry. All right, our last team on day 2 of the 4th annual Big Ten Volleyball Media Days is the Wisconsin Badgers. Head coach Kelly Sheffield, Carter Booth, and Mimi Collier joining here today. Just make sure when you get that mic to say your name and your outlet and speak clearly into the microphone. And Coach, I'll hand it off to you for an opening statement.
Thank you for having us here today. I think the Big Ten Conference and BTN continues to raise the bar on how this event is going. We're really appreciative, and certainly, hopefully, you feel like everybody's leaning into this because it's really important for our sport, and it just shows how important this sport is to the people that are involved in putting us on TV. So we're happy to be here. You know, volleyball is changing a lot. College sports is changing a lot. And but one thing that doesn't change is the players and what they're trying to do and what they're trying to accomplish. And that pretty much stays the same. And we've graduated a lot of players and a lot of talented players, but we've got a lot of talented players coming back and coming in that I'm certainly excited about. We start our team meetings tomorrow and start practice the following day. So here we are, and right in front of it, and happy to have 2 elite representatives of our program and university here with Mimi and Carter. And yeah, so we'll take questions.
Questions for the Badgers? We'll start right here in front.
John Seppi at the Journal Sentinel for Kelly. Kind of curious your thoughts on a couple national things with the sport. First of all, moving the practice up a week, your thoughts on that, and then also the Division II Management Council, I believe it was, had the recommendation of moving to 5 years. Is that something that you'd eventually want to see at the Division I level?
I didn't pick up any of that. What did he say?
The starting early, week early, and then D2 5 years.
Yeah, this has been a great, you know, for us to be able to start earlier is really big. It's. I'll be honest. I think it handcuffs our sport that we're not able to have access to our players in the summer like other sports do. And I think not only being able to train, but our program can't even post anything about them working out. You know, these guys are in the gym or in the weight room working out. You see other sports that are able to post that and promote their sports, and the impact that has on NIL and just we haven't gotten to the part in our sport where we're able to be out there 365. You know, we have these quiet periods, the opening of our tournament where we're not nationally broadcasted. We've got times in the summer where other sports are able to have access with their players and promote their teams and their players. We can't do that. If they're wanting to promote themselves and what they're doing, they got to do it themselves. Our school can't do it. So I think that's a tough thing. But getting a little bit of extra practice here, I think the science will say that's better for us. So we're certainly happy about that.
Next question was the Division II Council.
So there's the recommendation for 5 years.
Recommendation for 5 years.
Is that something you'd want to see at the Division I level?
Something you want to see at Division I?
5 years. I think it'd be great. I think that would have a bigger impact if we had 5 years to play 5 years across the board. That would impact way more people than NIL does. You know, of every player being able to basically leave with a free graduate degree would be amazing. I'll tell you what, you see all these lawsuits that are happening. The lawsuit that I think would be the most winnable is from a Title IX standpoint of how is football players able to have basically a third of their season where they're able to play and then still redshirt. where if our players play one match, they've lost their year. How is that allowed from a Title IX perspective, that you've got over 100 male athletes that are being able to get not only that head start, but also being able to build their brand, and with NIL, now that you've got money in there, that seems to be like the most winnable lawsuit there is.
Next for the Badgers. Did I lose the mic? All right, we'll go to John here again.
With losing Grace Lopez, kind of curious how you've seen other people fill the void, and how do you kind of feel that, where it seemed like she was going to come in and have a pretty big role until that injury?
Oh man, we were so excited to get Grace Lopez when she transferred in here. But injuries are certainly a part of it. Unfortunately, it's why you have a team. That's why you have depth. I thought this spring, Madison Quest went over and played the other pin. It's what we try to have. We try to have players that are willing to do anything and everything for the team. I thought Yulia Orzel was a great example of that just finished up her career with us, being able to go from outside to Libero, back to outside. Madison is certainly one of those types of players that are willing to get outside of her comfort zone for good for the team. We've got some other players that I think are going to be candidates for that opposite. I think freshman Natalie Wardlow is certainly going to get a look. She played some right side this club season. I could see a player like Grace Egan maybe getting to take a look over there, and how fast her arm is. So that's what I'm excited about going is trying to put these pieces together.
When you've got a young roster, how helpful is it to have a core in terms of Mimi, Carter, Charlie to kind of build off of at those three positions?
I think the two of them, Mimi and Carter, are two of the most experienced players in the league. They're two of the absolute best players at their position in the country. They are competitive. They've got big dreams, big goals, and they're willing to work for them. They're tough. I mean, there's a resiliency about them. They represent our university in a way. They conduct their business off the court very, very well. And when you have new players that are coming in that say, you want to be elite, this is how you do it. This is how you go about things. This is how you treat other people. This is how you handle adversity. I mean, who's better than the two of them? So certainly excited to see both of them move into leadership roles for us.
John, then Lincoln.
John Audius, Wisconsin Badger Sports Network. I did the math, Kelly, about the number of kills from last year that is no longer on your team with the graduation of players. It's 1,400. And you just talked about constructing a roster. How exciting is it for you as a head coach, and what do you like most about getting to retool a roster, basically?
I don't think as a coach you love one more than the other. I think they're just excitement and anticipation for something that is new. Last year going in with a lot of experienced players, I was certainly excited for them, right, and for that team, and wanting to be my best for them. That doesn't change. Their sacrifices, what they're willing to do, what they're trying to accomplish. The people might change, but what they're trying to do doesn't change at all. You want to be around good humans. You want to be around people that are willing to be beyond themselves. That's becoming harder and harder in the transfer NIL world, revenue sharing world, is to get people to think beyond themselves and try to elevate others. And when you have those players that are wired like that, man, there's nothing better as a coach. I feel like we've got that, but we haven't seen adversity yet. I mean, we've got a lot of new people, and it's not about how well they get along right now. It's how well they work through the tough times together.
Maybe a year ago, you probably didn't expect this late career switch. What's it been like? And part of it's probably got to be very invigorating.
Yeah, no, it has been so exciting making this huge move. The fact that I'm in Wisconsin is still kind of funny. I'm from California, and my mom always said I had to stay on the West Coast for school just so she could come visit. So the fact that I'm in the Midwest is like kind of bizarre. But just it's been so much fun. There's been so much learning over the last couple months, just growing and really bonding with the team and these girls. There's a lot of new girls, so it's been really fun just bonding as a team, bonding as teammates on the court, and it's been awesome.
Carter, you've been in pro sports like your whole life, right? Through osmosis, if nothing else. Are you looking at the new world a little bit like a general manager? Like, is the part of you looking at it from a business sense because of pro sports?
I think it would be naive to not explore the business side of things. With my team now, we are a family. Like, there is love for the game and there's love for each other involved. And I think now as we move into this new world and things develop, it is becoming a little bit more of a business, but the focus is always to win, to get better, to play for my team and the people around me. And, if I have to sort of put on different hats, I'm able to do that. But I think one thing that's for sure is I never allow the business side to bleed into what's most important, which is teammateship and camaraderie and focusing on winning and going out there and doing our best.
Maybe kind of the same lines too. How with the house settlement, how much is that on your radar? Is that something you're learning about, or what's your approach to that?
Was not on my list of priorities when looking at schools to come to. I got on the phone with Kelly and, we talked about Wisconsin and the history of it. When you say Wisconsin volleyball, people know what that means. And I've just been really excited to get in here and kind of be a part of that program and just really lean into the historic greatness that this program is. But yes, that hasn't been a huge factor at all.
Sorry, so Lincoln Arneal, Huskers Illustrated. Carter, being one of the few holdovers that played a lot, what's been your role in kind of integrating all the new phases and the new teammates?
I think my role has just been being the voice of reason a little bit. When I see something, say something, because we want to do well. We want to follow rules, and it's hard to know how to do that when you don't know where you stand. So being the person who has experienced things and been through things and I know how it kind of works, I've really taken it upon myself to be a little bit of a heavier guiding hand now so that when we get into season, I can be more hands-off. And I said this earlier on TV, I'd rather be irritating than have people not know what's going on. So if it means I have to over-communicate and sometimes be a little bit bossy, I'm more than happy doing that if it's what's best for the team.
Go to John right here in the first row. Or at the mic. Oh, all right, there it is.
Tedrick with the Volleyball Project. Carter, what is it like playing? You have one of the biggest fan bases in sports. What is it like playing in front of the Badgers? And Mimi, what has been your experience thus far since you've been there with the fans?
I think playing in front of our fans is always a memorable experience. I feel like every single memory we make on the court is a core memory just because they are so enthusiastic and they love the sport. They just love the sport and they love supporting us as female athletes, and they know how to get loud. I think that it's just always so inspiring and humbling to see just how much people look up to us. And it really reminds you of what matters most and what we're here for.
Yeah, this fan base is part of the reason why I wanted to come to Wisconsin. I'd played here twice in my career before deciding to transfer. And I'll tell the story over and over about how as soon as those doors opened, people came flooding in, like literally sprinting into the crowd. The general admission section filled up in seconds with still like an hour for the game. These fans are just so passionate about supporting us, and they just love the sport of volleyball. And so, again, like she said, supporting us as female student athletes, and it's so incredible, and it's like nowhere else.
John
Steffi, Journal Sentinel again. For Carter, how have you seen this team grow since that loss last year at Nebraska? And for Mimi, kind of looking at the program, not just fan base, but kind of as a whole, what were your impressions of Kelly's program before you got here, and what's been your impressions now that you've been here for a little bit?
I think in terms of growth, again, we turned over a lot of people. We have, I'd say 70% new team. So I think we're starting from ground zero. It's about understanding that and then getting on the same page as quick as possible. I think personally, my areas of growth have been the leadership aspect. I think I've been consistently good on the court, and for me, this past spring and summer has been about being good for my team off the court as well. I mean, like I said, when I see something, say something, using my voice, getting used to speaking up. Me and Kelly, we had a meeting before we even started spring, and his note for me was, I'd love to see you use your voice more, because I think what you have to say is always thoughtful and impactful. And so just, coming into my own a little bit more with that has been, I think, the biggest area of growth.
Yeah, I think my impression of Wisconsin volleyball is kind of, like I said earlier, like you say Wisconsin volleyball and like people know they know what you're talking about, even if they're not super familiar with the sport or even the state of Wisconsin. Like Wisconsin volleyball means something, and as an outsider looking at that had always been my impression. And then getting here, I think I learned the reason that people the work that goes in behind the scenes is insane between the players themselves. And you go into the gym and there's always someone doing extra reps, or the coaching staff. And if I have a question about something, here's a 5-slide PowerPoint that she put together in 20 seconds to show clip by clip of how I need to do something better. There's just so much work that goes behind the scenes in all aspects of it, and that's why it's known for what it is.
We'll go to Lee, unless you had another, John.
For either
One
of
more.
you, during whether it be spring, what you can do individually, summer, who are some of the younger players who have really stood out to you in the off season?
I'm really excited for both of our incoming bros, Kristen Simon and Anaya Warren. They are just gym rats. They're in there all the time. You go in there, you ask if someone wants to go do passing reps, they are always the first ones to say yes. And I'm really excited to watch them compete for that lib spot or the DS spot or whatever. Just watch them compete. They're so fun to play next to. They're both so energetic, and they've been really fun to get to be around.
Yeah, what she said.
Lee, over here. Sorry to miss you again.
No worries. John Audius, ESPN Madison. So we talk about changes on the roster, Kelly, but the coaching staff's a little bit different too, with Lauren Carlini becoming an assistant coach, and then I'm interested on that John Shondell as well, and then Gary White's role, director of player personnel and analytics. Can you talk a little bit about that role and what that entails, and just some of the changes on the staff too?
Yeah, Anne-Marie Hickey decided to move full-time into the pro, which we're really excited about her to do. I felt like last year there was a lot of things that I was handling that I felt took me away from our players. The changing of what is happening in college athletics and being on top of that with revenue sharing, with NIL, because it's not just, there's a lot of, well, what if I do this, or what if we do this, or what if we do this, and a lot of brainstorming. And the more that you're spitting on things that aren't volleyball or they're not your people, for me, it's a mistake, I feel like. So Gary took over that director of player personnel. He also, stats will fall under him. We are moving Lauren Carlini into a coaching role, which I think is a really big deal for all of our players. She's got so much to offer, not only because she's been where they want to go, but she is passionate. She's got a work ethic that there's just so much to tap into, and being able to get her more involved was certainly a goal. And then the opportunity of bringing in John, who I've known for over 40 years and who is one of the best trainers in our sport, to be able to bring him in. Again, he'll be an amazing fit for our staff. And I think our players, once they get to know him, because he's only been around for a week, I think he'll be able to benefit them. So really excited about the changes and what we've got this year.
Maybe is Carter as obnoxious as she says she is? Never mind. No.
When did I say that?
Well, irritating. irritating.
She's not.
Oh.
She's voice of reason. She's very much. It's nice because I think both of us are growing into our own leadership roles and our types of leadership. And I think where she is more likely to say it out loud, and she's much more of a vocal leader than I am. I think I'm more of a lead by example, but I think we balance each other out pretty well.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Kelly, how did you, in the coaches poll, pick the top 5 on your ballot?
How did we what?
How did you pick the coaches poll?
Top
your
5
ballot.
on the
Your
coaches
top
poll.
5?
Did
On
you
the
vote? How did you
coaches
vote?
poll.
Did I vote?
Yeah.
What was your
How
vote?
did you pick? How did you pick?
What was your top 5?
What was my top 5 in the country or in the Big Ten?
Big Ten coaches poll.
You want me to say who was my top 5?
Correct.
Is he allowed to say that?
Well, it's hard to go against the teams that were that finished up there last year. So I went Nebraska 1. I went Penn State 2. Went us 3. Who was 4? I might have gone UCLA and Minnesota, but I'm not sure. I don't recall which order I had those 2 in. That was probably my top 5.
That's the way it went.
Have most people ducked that question?
No, just you.
Oh, just me. Okay.
This is going to be our last question. Just, I know we're the last one of the day, but they've been going a long time.
Kelly, had 3 people wore the Libero jersey last year. What
Yeah.
does the outlook of that position with a fresh group of Liberos look like this year?
Yeah. It'll be somebody new. Obviously, we've got 4 players that I would say that are a candidate for that. Jada Ternelia transferred in here. We're excited to have her and her experience in there. Miley Chan is coming back for a second year, and excited about that. We've got 2 very talented freshmen that are going to have the ability to get in there. It's Simon and Warren. It's been one of the things that's been that has jumped. Think of how many elite freshmen that have come in this conference and be ready to play at a really high level. Certainly, we've had freshmen that have come in and played at a really high level. I mean, my goodness, what school hasn't? And so I think the experiences that these players are going through with club and with their USA stuff that a lot of these guys are doing, the Under Armour stuff, they're coming in and playing really big stages, and they've got a lot of confidence. And they're probably more prepared to handle the speed of the game than maybe a lot of the younger players were, 10 years ago or whatever. So I'm excited about seeing that battle. I mean, it's pretty obvious that, playing time isn't guaranteed for anybody, but it's really hard to not see these 2 out on the court, right? But there's some positions that there's opportunity, and that's seeing who grabs onto that and who's able to bring it day after day after day and be somebody that is that a teammate can be counted on in big moments, that wants to be in those big moments. Learning that and finding that about that's one of the joys that we'll find out here starting in a couple days.
And unfortunately, we have to end there. So far, our day is done too. Badgers, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank
Thanks,
you.